There's no denying it. The Detroit Lions have looked bad the past 2 weeks. Against the Bears, they miraculously came back and won that game down 13 points with 3 minutes remaining. And then against the Green Bay Packers, they were heavy favorites and they let Jordan Love cook, just like he did against the Chargers last week. So the question for the Lions is what's next? Because they're 8-3, but who the hell cares? Like, the Lions don't look like an 8-3 football team. They look like a team that is struggling to define their identity. Like, the offensive line's been bad. The defense has been bad. The coaching has been bad. Aaron Glenn has just not been getting it done. And then you've got Dan Campbell going for it in his own territory. I mean, I was watching the game with my dad at the time, during that play at least, and I saw the formation. I was like, this is a fake, but they can audible out of it. And then they snap the football. I'm like, what the hell are the Lions doing? I listened to ESPN yesterday, or a couple of days ago, whenever I was, and man, like, one of the analysts was like, the Lions have looked like the same old Lions the past 2 weeks. And the thing with me is, I'm not going to go that far, because this is clearly not the same Detroit Lions team. I mean, first of all, they finished off last season 8-2. They are 8-3. They've been good this season. It's just when they lose, they've looked bad. Ravens bad. Seahawks bad. Packers bad. When the Lions lose, they lose bad, right? I don't need to say it again. So how can that get fixed? It's simple. Not have a short week, right? The Lions played on Thursday, guys. That's a short week. They have more time now. They've got basically a mini bye where they can just get themselves together and figure this out. They're going to take on the New Orleans Saints next Sunday. It's on the road, but still. I mean, they have a lot to work on, and it really, what it comes down to is protecting Jared Goff. That's the most important thing for the Detroit Lions, because Goff, this season, he's had his moments, and he's also had some bad games. But against the Packers, did lose a couple of fumbles, but he didn't throw any interceptions. 2 touchdowns, 332 yards, and that was with being under constant pressure. I doubt there was a more pressured quarterback in, of course, on the Thursday night games, and there won't be a more pressured quarterback on Sunday. I mean, I probably should not jinx that, because maybe it will happen, but just from the eye test, I mean, it felt like Goff was under duress every time he dropped back. And I'm not even exaggerating. Literally every drop back, there was a hand in his face, or there was somebody just on a blitz and that's not picked up, and Goff just is getting hit. And he still made some good throws, but clearly Goff needed a little bit more time to get the ball where he wanted to. Some plays where if he had half a more second, then he could hold on to the ball and get it to his guy. And we saw a lot of overthrows, a lot of misses. That's due to the pressure. I mean, Goff he's not a system quarterback, right? It's not like, okay, Ben Johnson made Jared Goff. Monroe St. Brown and these guys in this offensive line, the run game, yeah, the Lions are a run-first team. Ben Johnson's fantastic, but Jared Goff is a good quarterback. Like, Jared Goff's a borderline top 10 quarterback. He's a quarterback that you can win a Super Bowl with. He's been to a Super Bowl. And yes, they had a very good team with the Rams, but still, Jared Goff is the quarterback of that team. So right now for the Lions, it's all about how can we protect him. And the Lions, they've got a good offensive line. That's why it's so surprising. I mean, first of all, they've got multiple Pro Bowlers on their offensive line. Penei Sewell is one of the best right tackles in football already, and he's young. And then you've got, Graham Glasgow is a solid. Colby Sorsdale's a rookie. Frank Ragnow, one of the best centers in football. Taylor Decker is a Pro Bowler. Jonah Jackson, it's a good offensive line, man. And it just hasn't been getting it done the past couple of weeks, but it's the same thing with the defense. Where the hell has this Lions defense been lately? I mean, Jordan Love cooked them. The Bears, Justin Fields, his first game back, I mean, the Bears opened up that game with a touchdown drive. And if it wasn't for the Bears just being the Bears, they should have comfortably won that football game. And if the Bears did win that football game and then the Lions lost to the Packers, we'd be having a much different discussion right now. But like I said, miraculously, they won that game. And then against the Chargers, Justin Herbert, yes, he's a generational talent, but Justin Herbert had no issues picking apart that Lions secondary. And there was just absolutely zero pressure in that game whatsoever. And then the Raiders offense, sucked, obviously. And then, we don't need to go that far back, but basically, Aaron Glenn has to rally his troops, and he has to start making plays. It's as simple as that, because the Lions defense was good to start the season, and right now it's not. There's no way they're around it. I mean, this front, they definitely need to get James Houston back, because I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think the Lions are a Super Bowl contender. And I say that only because I don't trust their pass rush, or their defense in general, but especially their pass rush. Aiden Hutchinson, is he good? Yes. Fantastic. Lee McNeil's good, but it's just, they're not consistent. Like, they're just not consistently getting after the quarterback. And James Houston, I want to say he broke the rookie sack record last season, and he hasn't been available. He got hurt early on, and he's still awaiting his return. So they need to get him back. And Isaiah Buggs was out, who's a good player, underrated player. There's even Aquara. I mean, there's some solid players on the Lions. It's just CJ Gardner-Johnson's another guy that he tied the NFL in interceptions last season despite missing 5 games. We saw early on, made some plays and got beat a couple of times, but still, I mean, like, the Lions need to get healthy, but they just need to be consistent, because the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the 49ers lately are all playing their best football of this season, and then the Lions aren't. So there's plenty of time. I know I'm definitely overreacting a little bit, but Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. There are some difficult games coming up. Actually, all those games are difficult. The Saints have a top 10 defense, statistically speaking. The Bears always play the Lions well. I mean, as long as Justin Fields is healthy, it's going to be a difficult game. And then you've got Denver's on a 4-game winning streak, the most in football. The Vikings were just on a 5-game winning streak and lost by 1 point against the Denver Broncos. And the Dallas Cowboys are as hot as anyone in football. I mean, man, are they unreal. Like, offensively, they're putting up points. Defensively, they're putting up points. Dak Prescott might be the best quarterback in the NFL right now, at least this season. The Lions need to focus. And I told this to my dad after the game. I said, I'm not really too worried about this because I know Dan Campbell is going to take accountability. And what did Dan Campbell say after the game? I did not have my team prepared. Dan Campbell, Lions fans, be grateful he's your coach, because I understand the Lions have not been good really ever. I mean, well, not ever. I mean, Barry Sanders days, Matthew Stafford has some good moments, but consistently, again, it comes back to that. Like, the Lions have not been a good football team. Right now, they are. Like, last season, they were good. This season, they're good. Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, the GM, of course, and Brad Holmes. I mean, this unit, or this team, I'll even say, unit, not this group of men is the best in football, and I don't care what anyone says. There is not a better group, but still, guys, can we finish off the season strong? Go into the playoffs hot. Doesn't matter if you're at home or you're on the road, but just go into the playoffs thinking that we're as good as any team and we're going to prove it. And I know the Lions are just trying to make if the Lions make the playoffs, that's it. To me, an A season, A+ season. But let's go out there and win a couple of games. Let's win the Super Bowl, right? Peace, guys. My dinner's ready, so I have to go.